we will discuss this with the help of an example problem so that you can understand this concept that what is happening here. Okay, so what has been asked, we have been asked to compute the elevation for a particular station Y. Okay, there is particular station Y and it is given that if station X, okay, station X is having the station as 2 plus 50. Okay, 2 plus 50 means at a distance of 250 meters. Okay, if it is not mentioned to us in the question by 2 plus 50, what do we mean? This we understood in the first session. By 2 plus 50 means 2 tape lengths have been completely taken and 50 meter in addition. Okay, but if it has not been mentioned, okay, what is the particular tape length, okay, then what we do, we consider this as equal to 100 for this case, because 2 plus 50 for this case will be read as 250 meter unless and until it is mentioned. If it is given that we have taken tape length as 70 meter, suppose particular tape length is 70 meter, then 2 plus 50 will denote 2 into 70, because 2 times complete tape length has been taken, that is 2 into 70, 140 plus 50, so it will be 190 meter here, and 8 plus 36 will be 8 into 70 plus 36. Okay, but here since nothing is given, so first station point of X is 250 meter and the second station point of point Y is 836 meter. So we can easily get the horizontal distance between these 2 points, that will be 836 minus 250. 836 is the station point of station Y and 250 is the station point of station X. 836 minus 250 will be equal to 586 meter, that is the horizontal distance between points X and Y. Okay, now we have got horizontal distance. We note the grade. Grade is given to us in question that from point X to Y the grade is continuously falling with a negative rate of 2.5%. Okay, so grade is given by V upon H into 100, as we already know, vertical distance upon horizontal distance into 100. So G is given to us as minus 2.5. V, we need to calculate the vertical difference in elevation, because the elevation of point Y is unknown to us, so we can't know the value of V, but H is known to us because for both the stations we know the station points. It is 586 into 100. So from this we can easily calculate the vertical difference in elevation between station X and Y. Okay, that will be minus 2.5 upon 100 into 586, which is equal to minus 0.025 into equal to minus 14.65 meter. So for this case we know that the drop in elevation from station X to station Y will be equal to minus 14.65 meter. And once this is known to us, we can easily calculate the elevation of station Y. The second point, station Y, its elevation can be easily calculated by decreasing this 14.66.32. 156.32 is the station elevation. Okay, and from that if we decrease this minus 14.65, we can easily get the value of 141.67 meter. This will be the elevation of point Y. Okay, so practically on site if we are having the data, we should be able to do that with the help of calculations. For that we need to develop basic understanding of the terminologies also. Okay, so this was one example. Second example, one more you can see, it is bit different form. Okay, in this what is happening is we have been asked to calculate the gradient of line A and B. Means we have to calculate the slope of line A and B between stations A and B. We have been given their station points as well as the elevations. Okay, it is given to us that point A is having station of 5 plus 365 and point B is having a station of 22 plus 046. Unless and until it is mentioned, we will take this distance as 5365 meter for station A, and for station B we will take as 22 plus 046, that is 22046. This time we will multiply by 1000, because after addition the value that is given is up to 3 places. Okay, so it will be 5 into 1000 plus 365, that is 5365 meter, and 22 into 1000 plus 046, that is 22046 meter. Once we have done this, we know the horizontal distance between these 2 points. It is 22046 minus 5365. Okay, so this will come out equal to 16,681 meter. That is the horizontal difference between station A and B. And vertical difference in elevation can be found by decreasing 136.24 from 267.45, because station A has got an elevation of 267.45 meter and station B has got an elevation of 136.24 meter. So the difference in elevation between these 2 points will be 267.45 meter minus 136.24 meter. This will be equal to 131.21 meter. Okay, so this is the vertical difference in height between these 2 points, and now we can easily calculate the value of grade of the sloping land. That may be given by V upon H into 100, where V is 131.21 meter vertical height, vertical difference in elevation between these 2 points, and H is 16681, that is the horizontal distance between these 2 points. Now we can easily calculate the grade V upon H into 100. Okay, and as soon as we know all the values, we can just substitute it and found the value of grade. That comes in this case equal to 0.79%. This is just the magnitude, and we obviously know that the ground is falling downwards. How? Because first point has got higher elevation and the second point has got lower elevation of 136.24. So this gradient will be with negative sign of minus 0.79%. Okay, so this was it in this. Now last part that comes with tape length is the corrections that we need to apply. Okay, because this is very important part of this, because what happens when you have found that this is the particular error associated with each tape length, then how you can induce that correction for entire readings if you have traversed a large length, suppose 10 kilometers of reading you have taken. So it is not possible for you that now if you recognize that the tape which you were using was not of 50 meter, instead it was 49.9 meter. So you don't need to conduct the entire survey again. You know the entire readings you have taken, you know the total distance you have traversed. You just need to find out how many times you have used the tape, and if you know that in each tape length the error was of suppose 0.1 meter and you have used that tape 50 times, 50 complete tape lengths have been used, then the error will be 50 into 0.1, that is 50 meter. Now you just need to find whether this error would be additive or it will be subtractive, based on whether the length of the tape that you are using, the wrong length that you are getting, is either in excess or it is less than the actual length. Okay, so the first thing that you need to find is number of times the tape was used. This you can find very easily by knowing the total distance that you have measured upon the tape length, total tape length. Okay, so you will get how many times you have used this tape by dividing total distance you have measured upon tape length. Okay, next, correction per tape length that you have to apply: actual length minus the length that you are seeing. Okay, what is the actual length of the tape right now? That faulty length, suppose it is now 30.1, so this is the actual length, and we are seeing it as 30 meter because we are reporting it as 30 meter tape. Okay, so now we can know the total correction per tape length has to be multiplied by total number of times that tape has been used. If that tape has been used 5.5 times, then we will have to apply this correction for 5.5 times. Okay, and now we know the total correction. Now we only need to know whether this correction needs to be added or subtracted. So corrected measured distance has to be added when measured distance which you have done, to that this total correction will have to be added to know whether this correction is positive or negative. You will get the value positive, negative depending upon the difference of actual length minus seam length. Okay, this I will show you with the help of numerical example also. Next, see, first case was when you need to measure the distance. Okay, you have measured certain distance, now you are trying to find out whether what was the corrected measured distance. Second is when you need to lay the distance on ground. You have still not conducted the survey, you have been asked to lay 200 meter on the ground. This is starting station A. From this you have been asked to lay 200 meter distance. So now you are having 40 tape in your hand. Its length is not 30 meter, instead it is 29.9 meter. So for 29.9 meter tape, how much distance you need to do? Okay, this you can find. Okay, this also you can correct by just the required distance that is required. Okay, it is 200 meters suppose. In that you can subtract this total correction of how much it is required. Okay, in required distance you can just subtract this total correction to find the actual value of corrected distance that is to be laid on the ground. Okay, This we will understand with the help of an example, then you will develop a better understanding of this. See, what happens is, for tape length correction, it is given that for a corrected distance, if a 30 meter tape was used, okay, we were using a tape of 30 meter length to measure a distance of 168.465 meter. So the distance which we were trying to measure was 168.465 meter. For that we were using 30 meter tape, and afterwards it was found that the actual length of tape was 29.997 meter. It was not 30 meter. So what will be the corrected distance that you have measured? You are thinking that you have measured a distance of 168.465, but that distance which you have actually measured is lesser than that, because the actual length of the tape was less, 29.997. You were thinking this distance is 30 meter, but actually it was 29.997 only. So you have conducted an error of 0.003 every time you have measured 30 meter. Okay, so you can easily find what is the correction per tape length. See, actual length was 29.997 and the seen length that you were seeing was 30 meter. So the difference between these two is 29.997 minus 30, that is equal to minus 0.003 meter. Now you can find how many times you have used this tape. Okay, number of times this tape was used. So this will be 168.465 meter is the total distance that you have measured. You need to divide this by 30. Okay, 65 divided by 30 will be how many times you have used this tape. It will be 5.615. Okay, this won't be in meter. Okay, this is just how many times you have used that tape. It is 5.615 meter, 5 times. Okay, so what will be the total correction? In each tape length the correction was minus 0.003 meter, and you used this tape 5.615 times. So the total correction that has to be induced is 5.615 multiplied by minus 0.003. This is minus 0.017 meter, which is the total correction that has to be imparted to total distance measurement of 168.465. Okay, so corrected measured distance will be 168.465 minus 0.017. This will be equal to 168.448 meter. So you need to know, if you develop a wrong reading, how you can imply the correction. Okay, this is very important. Certain mathematical implications you need to know, and you can rectify your readings. Next, if you need to lay out the distance, as I told you, see, if a distance is to be laid out of 178.487 meter, it is given. Okay, using a 30 meter tape, we are using 30 meter tape to lay out a distance of 178.487 meter, and we find that 30 meter tape now has an actual length of 30.004 meter. So we need to find what is the correct distance that we need to lay out. You can easily see now the tape which you are having now is having distance larger than the actual length. Okay, it is now 30.004 meter tape instead of 30 meter. So its length is comparatively larger. Since the tape length that you are using right now is larger, okay, so because now the distance that you need to lay on the field should be less, because every time you are laying 30 meter, you are actually laying 30.004 meter. So according to 30 meter tape, if you are doing the calculation, you just need to lay down on the field only 178.463 meter as we have got in the calculations. So you can check that value is lesser. Okay, it should be less. Why? Because this tape is higher. So to lay out the same distance, you should lay lesser distance on the ground. Okay, but simply how you can do the calculations, you can just find same way correction per tape length. It is given by the same formula. Actual length, in the actual length that you are having the tape, it is of length 30.004 meter. You just need to subtract the initial actual length, means the tape length that you are seeing with which that tape recording was reported, it is 30 meters. So the difference between these two values will be 0.004 meter. Now number of times this tape was used, you need to find. 178.487 meter was the total distance you need to lay. To lay out that distance, how many times you need to use this tape? 178.487 by 30. So this will be equal to 5.950. It means you need to use this tape 5.95 times to traverse this distance. Okay, So what will be the total correction? You have conducted this error of 0.004, or when you will be laying the distance, you will be conducting this error of 0.004 5.950 times. So you need to cover for that 5.95 times. So 5.95 into 0.004, this will be equal to 0.024 meter. So this will be the total correction that you will have to apply. Okay, so the corrected measured distance for this case will be 178.487 meter distance that you have to lay on the field. From that you need to decrease the value of 0.024 meter, and you will get the final correct measured distance as 178.463 meter. So this is how you can actually correct your readings on the field at the site itself, and it is very much important that you develop correct understanding of these methods. Okay, so now comes the last topic, that is electronic distance measurement devices that we were talking about in the start. In this we don't need to cover much, because most of the errors of the taping that we were talking about right now are eliminated in this, because all the readings in this are given with the help of an electronic instrument. Okay, in which what happens, electromagnetic waves are transmitted, and based on the total number of full and partial waves that has been transmitted, we get to know the total wavelength. From the total wavelength of those, what happens basically is, as I have already told you, at the station itself we have got the EDM mounted, and then at that other station from which we need to record the distance, our reflector is there. The waves are transmitted from EDM and they reach the reflector, and from reflector they are again transmitted back and received as a signal by the EDM device. So what happens, based on the phase difference and based on the total distance traversed, because the wavelength of each phase is known to us for the wave that is being used. Okay, so total distance that it will travel will be twice of the actual distance. Okay, why? Because it will be firstly going to the reflector and then it will be coming back. So the machine generally records the total number of full waves and total number of partial waves. From that it gets to record the total distance between those 2 points, and once we know that total distance between those 2 points, we divide it by 2 to get the actual distance between first and the last one. Okay, so this is the simple technique that EDM instruments follow, and the best part of it is that most of the errors of the taping gets eliminated in this, because in this you don't need to apply any tension force that to check whether the error means whether your instrument is hanging or not. This is not the case. No need to check for tension, sagging, no effect of temperature can be there, no erroneous lengths can be there, no human errors can be there in counting or taking record of readings or anything which may happen, because all the calculation work is being done by EDM device. Okay, initially what happened, as I told you, initially these EDM devices that we are having were only used to record distances only, but now they do all the calculations and are even successful in calculating or recording that horizontal and vertical angles between different points, as in the case of total station. In total station devices, what happens, it is used for evaluating the horizontal and vertical angles as well as the horizontal and vertical distances between different points. Okay, this is why there it is written also, it eliminates many drawbacks that are associated with taping and has got very much high accuracy. Okay, so that's the best advantage of EDM devices. You can see here, initially EDM devices were only used to measure distances only, as I told you, but now these EDM devices can be utilized to measure both distances as well as angles in the form of total station. Hence it forms a complete package and it can be used to measure any reading. So it is one of the most important equipment or apparatus for a surveyor going into the field. Okay, it gives us very high accuracy, it eliminates most of the errors, and there are very less chances of conducting any error using EDM devices, and their accuracy is also very high. Okay, accuracy of EDM, this also you need to know, it is basically given in 2 parts. Okay, first one is a constant value. The first part of the accuracy of EDM, it is a constant value, and the second part is proportional to the total distance we are measuring. Okay, the distance we are measuring with the help of EDM device, the second error is proportional to that distance, and it is given in parts per million. Okay, means in 1 million distance how much error will occur with the help of distance. So it is directly proportional to the distance we are measuring, and it gives us the error that we will be conducting for each and every distance measured. So it is given as parts per million. If it is 1 ppm, you can say, so in every 10 lakh meter distance it will be conducting an error of 1 meter. Okay, so this you can understand, or you can say in 1000 kilometer, 10 lakh by 10 lakh we mean 1000 kilometer. So in 1000 kilometer it will be conducting an error of 1 mm. Okay, so this is how we can calculate how much error will be conducted. Sorry, 1 meter. In 1000 kilometer it will be conducting an error of 1 meter, or you can say in every kilometer it will be conducting an error of 1 mm if the accuracy is given as 1 pp. Now it depends what is the fluctuating accuracy. One part is constant, that we always consider, means this much error can occur for any distance that you are measuring, plus in ppm. Okay, so it is shown to you also, 1 ppm equals 1 mm per kilometer. It means that for a distance of 2000 meter, that if we are measuring a distance of 2000 meter, then 5 ppm accuracy if it is given that this instrument has an accuracy of 5 ppm, means in every 1 million 5 parts error will occur. So the accuracy is 5 upon 1 million, means 10 lakh. So 5 upon 10 lakh is the accuracy ratio. It has to be multiplied by the distance that we have measured, that is 2000 meter. So 5 upon 10 lakh into 2000 will be the error, which is equal to 0.01 meter, or you can report it as 1 centimeter or 10 mm. So in 2000 meter or 2 kilometer, this instrument will conduct an error of 1 centimeter. Okay, and EDMs are generally available with precisions that vary from 1 mm plus 1 ppm. Plus minus, obviously the error can be additive, error can be subtractive, but for very large distances even these are very small errors and they can be considered. Okay, so 1 mm plus 1 ppm means 1 mm error will be there in the measurements, and 1 part per million based on how much distance you have measured, 1 upon 1 million into total distance. Okay, and it may range to as high as 10 mm plus 5 ppm. So this is how you can see, and this is very good accuracy as compared to the other techniques that we have studied up till now. Now what these EDM devices contain? These total station instruments combine within themselves an electronic distance measurement unit. They have got an EDM that measures the distance between those 2 points, one point where the instrument is installed and the other point where reflector is there, which will transmit the signal back to this EDM device. Okay, and another electronic angle measurement unit, that is digital theodolite, which is responsible for measurement of angles. Okay, for distance measurement EDM is there initially as it was used, and now for measurement of horizontal and vertical angles electronic theodolites are used, and when they are used combinedly it forms the same equipment as total station, which can be used to conduct both the activities simultaneously. Okay, and a computer, a digital computer which does all the calculations, and afterwards through all the calculation it displays the exact distance between those 2 points where you want to measure, Okay, so it has got electronic distance measurement unit, and it has got an optical theodolite that is used for measurement of angles. Electronic angle measurement device is there, and a computer which displays all these readings. Okay, so further, what it automatically measures, these EDM devices, what are the readings that it can automatically measure? Okay, it can be used to measure horizontal angles. Okay, obviously as I told you, with the help of these electronic theodolites, horizontal angles as well as the vertical angles. By horizontal angles we mean angle with respect to the ground surface. If one ranging pole is at one point, or you can say if there are 2 trees located at a certain distance, firstly we will sight a tree, we will fix our instrument at that point, we will fix our scale at that point, and then we will rotate our instrument on the tripod to the second tree. We will try to sight the second tree, and when we have sighted this, we will try to clock the reading which that theodolite is displaying, which gives us the angle that we have traversed from initial point with respect to this final point. This is the horizontal. And vertical angle is when we are finding the height of a building or the same height of a tree. Okay, we locate the lowermost point, we locate the uppermost point. we can fix it at one point when we are locating lowermost point. With respect to that, we can find the uppermost point. Okay, so this is how it can be used to display the vertical angles also. Next comes measurement of distances. For measurement of distances, how these EDM devices are used, it generally measures horizontal angles. It can measure horizontal and vertical angles. Obviously, as I told you, with the help of that digital theodolite that is attached to it, it can be used for measurement of horizontal as well as vertical angles, and the slope distance can also be displayed. And then if we are having these data, if the angular calculations are known to us, if those angular values are known to us, and even the slope distance along the ground surface, okay, if it is a sloped ground, then slope distance is also known to us, then based on these data it can calculate the horizontal and vertical components. So it can directly give you the horizontal distance between those two buildings, okay, between those 2 points which you are looking for. How it can give? It takes into account the readings, angular measurements with the help of digital theodolite. It can measure the slope distance directly with the help of those transmitted waves that it is transmitting. And once it has got the slope distance reading as well as those angular measurements, what it does is